Forbidden fabric revealed. Imagine standing on the precipice of victory. You're a boxer in the final round, a sprinter milliseconds from the finish line, a chess grandmaster one move from checkmate. Your opponent, however, has an edge, an almost supernatural ability to anticipate your every move, to counter your signature technique before you've even fully committed to it. You've trained your entire life, honed your body and mind into a perfect weapon, but it's not enough. Now, what if you could turn their greatest strength, their lifetime of practice, against them? What if you could wear a piece of technology that quite literally steals their skill? This isn't science fiction from a distant future. It's the central claim of a whispered legend circulating in the most elite, high-stakes corners of the athletic world. They call it the vampire weave, and it represents either the single greatest leap in performance technology or the most insidious form of cheating ever conceived. The core concept is as terrifying as it is brilliant. The vampire weave is a rumored smart textile, a forbidden fabric that allegedly has the ability to absorb and replicate an opponent's muscle memory and strategic patterns in real time. Think about that for a second. It doesn't just make you stronger or faster. It doesn't just improve your stamina. It supposedly grants you direct access to your adversary's most practiced, most instinctive actions. That flawless free kick technique your rival spent 10,000 hours perfecting, the fabric allegedly learns it in 10 seconds. The lightning-fast combo that a fighting game champion has built their career on, the weave supposedly downloads it mid-match. It's a form of biological plagiarism, a high-tech shortcut that bypasses the blood, sweat, and tears of dedicated practice, offering a near instantaneous path to mastery by feeding on the mastery of others. The whispers began, as these things often do, in the shadowy depths of online forums dedicated to biohacking and fringe sports science. Anonymous posts from accounts claiming to be disgruntled lab technicians or former military researchers spoke of a project codenamed Project Echo. The goal wasn't to create better soldiers, but to create soldiers who could instantly adapt to any fighting style they encountered. The project was allegedly shut down due to ethical concerns, but the core technology, the material itself, was too revolutionary to simply destroy. The story goes that a small sample found its way into the black market, where a clandestine tech firm reverse-engineered it, rebranding it for the lucrative world of competitive sports. Suddenly, unexplained upsets in major tournaments, underdog victories that defied all statistical probability, were being viewed through a new, suspicious lens. Was it a fluke, or was the vampire weave in play? These are, of course, just rumors. There is no official confirmation, no peer-reviewed paper. But the sheer persistence of the legend, coupled with the tantalizing possibility of the science behind it, has ignited a firestorm of controversy and speculation. So, how could such a material even theoretically work? This is where we move from locker room gossip to the cutting edge of material science and neurotechnology. The most prominent theory revolves around a concept called kinetic to neurotransduction. The fabric is said to be a complex metamaterial, woven from piezoelectric carbon nanotubes and a proprietary biopolymer. In simple terms, piezoelectric materials generate an electric charge in response to applied mechanical stress. When an opponent moves, they create minute changes in air pressure, static electricity, and kinetic energy. The vampire weave, with its unparalleled sensitivity, is theorized to capture this kinetic data. Every feint, every jab, every pivot creates a unique energy signature. The weave's internal processors, no larger than a grain of sand and woven directly into the textile, then translate these complex energy signatures into a coherent data stream. But capturing the data is only half the battle. How does it transfer that skill to the wearer? This is the second, more controversial part of the theory, a haptic biofeedback loop. The fabric doesn't just read energy, it writes it back onto the wearer's body. Through a series of micro-actuators, it generates subtle, high-frequency vibrations and minute electrical impulses that directly stimulate the wearer's peripheral nervous system. It's not controlling their muscles like a puppet. Instead, it's providing a subconscious roadmap. It's creating a precognitive blueprint for a countermove, guiding the wearer's own muscles to mirror or perfectly oppose the opponent's action. The wearer might not even consciously understand why their body is moving the way it is. It just feels right, instinctive, as if they've been practicing that specific countersequence their entire life. This process would effectively create a shortcut, burning the new motor patterns directly into the user's procedural memory, bypassing the need for conscious, repetitive practice. It's learning at the speed of light, and it's a concept that challenges the very foundation of what it means to earn a skill. The immediate controversy is obvious. This technology would render natural talent and dedicated training almost obsolete, replacing a lifetime of human effort with a technological parasite. It would be the ultimate cheat in sports history, an unlevel playing field so steep it might as well be a cliff. The very soul of competition, the celebration of human potential, is at stake.
Ethical sports dilemma. So, let's assume for a moment that the whispers are true. The vampire weave is real, and it's about to break out of the shadows and into the mainstream. The first question we have to ask is, what happens to sports as we know it? The impact would be nothing short of seismic, a fundamental rewiring of every aspect of athletic competition. First, consider the world of training. The very concept of a rookie would become obsolete. A young quarterback could wear a sleeve embedded with the weave during a scrimmage against a veteran Pro Bowler and, in a matter of hours, absorb the throwing mechanics, the pocket awareness, the decision-making under pressure that took the veteran decades to master. A novice martial artist could spar with their sensei and download years of refined technique, not by imitation, but by direct, tactile absorption. This could democratize skill in an unprecedented way, allowing athletes from underfunded programs to gain the same technical proficiency as those with access to the world's best coaches. The gap between prodigy and late bloomer could vanish overnight. Human potential could be unlocked at a dizzying pace, shattering records that were once thought to be untouchable. But this utopian vision of accelerated learning immediately crashes into a profound ethical minefield. Is this technological evolution, or is it simply cheating in its most potent form? Proponents might argue it's just the next logical step. Athletes already use every tool at their disposal to gain an edge. We have aerodynamic swimsuits that mimic shark skin, carbon fiber prosthetics that allow runners to compete at the highest levels, and data analytics that script entire games based on statistical probabilities. A tennis player uses a graphite racket, not a wooden one from the 1970s. Is that cheating? Or is it simply using the best available equipment? The vampire weave, they would argue, is just the ultimate piece of equipment, an external tool that enhances the user's ability. It doesn't inject them with a foreign substance, it simply optimizes the learning process. They still need the underlying physical fitness, the strength, the stamina, and the will to win. The weave doesn't run the race for you, it just teaches you the perfect form instantly. The counter-argument, however, is far more compelling for many. Performance-enhancing drugs are banned because they create an unnatural physiological advantage. The vampire weave creates an unnatural advantage. It fundamentally subverts the core principle of sport, the test of one's own earned skill against another's. An athlete's greatness is defined by their journey, the relentless repetition, the study, the failures, and the breakthroughs. The weave erases that journey. A victory won with the weave isn't truly your victory. It's a borrowed, hollow echo of your opponent's hard work. It's like a student acing a final exam by having the professor's knowledge temporarily implanted in their brain. Did they really learn anything? Or did they just find a loophole that invalidates the entire purpose of the test? This technology would create a new class of athlete, the technological parasite, whose success is built not on their own merit, but on the skills they can harvest from others. This leads to a regulatory nightmare of epic proportions. How could any sporting organization possibly police this? It's not a drug that shows up in a urine test. It could be woven seamlessly into a jersey, a compression sleeve, or even a glove. Would leagues have to mandate a single standardized uniform for all competitors, manufactured under strict supervision? That would kill billion-dollar apparel sponsorships overnight. What about a black market for weaves, with athletes secretly using them in training to gain an edge, then competing clean on game day, having already absorbed the skills? It would spark a technological arms race, with teams and nations pouring billions into developing their own proprietary weaves and, presumably, counter-technologies, jammers or shields that could block the weave's absorption capabilities. Sports would cease to be a contest of human beings and would instead become a proxy war between competing biotech firms. The spectacle of human achievement would be replaced by a cold, calculated display of technological superiority. The very soul of sports, the unpredictable, emotional, and deeply human drama of competition, would be lost forever. If victory can be downloaded, does it even mean anything anymore? The line between human and machine, between earned talent and programmed skill, is blurring, and we have to decide where we as a society will finally draw it.